says that we're here. Today on Writing with Intent, we've got Robert Tolnai.
I'm here. Thank you, Jeremy.
All right, and Robert actually got me a smoothie. It's like he knows me. How long have you been in Arizona?
Almost 30 years.
Oh, you're
27 years.
You're an honorary native.
Was born and raised in Romania, so came straight here from there.
Came here on your first birthday, and you've been here for the other 30 years.
So you go to the gym, as you said, you're a creature of habit. So every morning you're there.
And you know what? And of course, because you're going to ask me this today, today's the day I didn't go to the gym. My alarm went off just before 5, and I just completely shut it off because it was like a long day yesterday.
I just started going literally 2 weeks ago, and the guy, they give you that first session with the guy, because they always ask you, well, what's your goal? What do you want to accomplish? I don't know, man. I just want to be healthy. I just want to not gain any.
I want to avoid dad bod. You've heard of dad bod?
No.
That's where you look like you've got the dad body that's got no muscle, and you just kind of hang, and you just get old. And
what kind of dads did they interview for that?
I don't know. It's a thing. If you Google dad bod, it's a whole. They have memes on Instagram. They have all. I just don't want to be one of those memes.
Go to the movies a lot. I like movies. My kids love movies. So
have they seen The Greatest Showman?
Oh yeah. And what's funny is I never thought that I liked musicals. I've never seen a musical. Mm-hmm. And my girls came back from the songs. They were singing the songs. They were asking me to play them on YouTube. We're in the pool. Beautiful songs. Wow. And they knew the words. Wow, this is so cool, guys. And they said, yeah, can we watch the movie? I said, sure. And it was awesome. I loved it. And then immediately after that, there was Mamma Mia. And I love ABBA from way back in the days. That's what we grew up to.
I'm afraid to get hooked on 2 musicals at once because
I did it. And had a little bit of shame, but I'm gonna embrace it. As long as my kids love it, we're gonna enjoy it together.
So we've got a 4-year-old now, a 7-year-old today. Happy birthday, Anthony! And as long as we keep them occupied, I swear they could go all day long and do nothing. So we got them these 2 little walkie-talkies, and so Claire, the youngest one, got to talk to the boys because she's always a little slower, and they talked back and forth on those walkie-talkies about the dumbest things the entire time, and it made it so that they were always distracted. Just kept going. Parenting tip number 1: keep them distracted. You ever go up to the lake?
Yeah, we love it. A couple of friends that have boats. When they go out, they call us. We're lucky enough to tag along.
My friend with the boat moved to New York, so I don't got a friend with the boat. I'm not going to be the friend with the boat. That's just...
I know. It seems like so much extra responsibility.
It definitely is.
I would not have time to take care of it.
No. I'm currently seeking friends with a boat, so reach out to me.
That should be a new ad.
Exactly. Man, that 2 behind the boat thing looks a lot easier than it is in practice. I remember my first time on that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be simple. And then, of course, my friend with the boat was driving, and he made it not simple at all. Then my wife, she doesn't swim that good, so she held on a whole lot better than I do. And so, you just couldn't shake her off because the last thing she wanted to do was,
be in the water.
Yeah, it was be in the water and be free of that thing. I'm like, man, she could hold on good.
Yeah, my wife took a pretty bad hit off of that, and her head hurt 2 days.
Oh, that's all I remember was when I finally did let go, because you always end up in the air for a split second, and then when you come back down and hit the water, it's not nearly as soft as you were thinking it would be.
No, that's not an easy hit.
I was always a skateboarder when I was a kid, so now I skateboard with my kids, but every now and then
That's cool.
But I'll have a fall, and it'll always be the wimpiest fall because I don't do anything even close to risky anymore, and I'll just fall on my butt or whatever, which is something that I would have just brushed off as a kid and happened 10 times a day. Now every time I fall on my butt, it hurts for a week and a half, and I'm just like, did I break my butt? What exactly did I do? How old am I really? Why does it hurt so bad? But what made you choose real estate? Was it like your uncle growing up was a big real estate mogul and therefore you had to follow in his shoes? What?
Not even close.
Not even close?
The kid that I kind of grew up with in high school that got me in all kinds of bad things.
You know what's funny? I had that kid.
Yeah.
And he was my only Romanian friend too, by the way. Just FYI. He was the worst influence on me. Ended up being a really cool guy and everything. But man, if I got in trouble, my parents knew who to call.
So this kid, everything that I've learned that was bad, I've learned from him. For whatever reason, one day he said, dude, you gotta read this book. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. We don't read. We party. That's what we do. A few years later, I ended up in Australia, and I read this magazine. It had the 10 top books that the wealthiest entrepreneurs read or it's been part of their lives or whatever. And this book was number 1 on that list.
What book?
And I was like, what? So I went to the library that day because I was doing nothing. We were working like 3 days a week. She was going to school. And it was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So I read that in like literally not even a week. And it was like the second book I've ever read in my life. So as soon as I got back from Australia, I went to real estate school and got busy. Well, this was awesome, man. Thank you.
No, thanks for coming. This was definitely fun. All right, Robert Tolnai now with EXP Realty. Awesome guy. We had a fun day out in the sun in Peoria.